Florence. I'm so sorry for the noise. But like if I don't have the window open, it's literally going to be my face is you can't see my face. So anywho, I've been wanting to make this video since like kind of before I left Florence. Like it's okay, trigger warning I guess, because I'm kind of gonna talk about my suicidal thoughts, obsessive thoughts, whatnot. But if you are going through like a really like tough time and are just really depressed, like if you don't think this will like trigger you, please watch it. So what I wanted to say is, like to those of you who have been having like really, who are just really depressed or really down, like it does get better. And I know you're probably sick of people telling you that like, oh, it gets better, and you're like, no, it doesn't. Like, you're like you feel like they're just like it's their situation, like I used to feel that way, but let me just start out by saying like I used to have really, intense, obsessive thoughts, okay? Obsessive, impulsive thoughts about killing myself. Like, for a few weeks, I think it was about around in June, like, every night I would cry. Bawl my eyes out because I could not get to the Golden Gate Bridge to jump off there. Like, I would literally be so upset that I wasn't dead that I would bawl my eyes out for an hour every night. And then at one point I just had this like intense obsession of going to the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know why, not to kill myself, just because. But I did, and I ended up going there, and so I knew exactly how to get there and everything. And I had a plan in my head. I was like, okay, if I feel like I'm gonna jump off the bridge, then I will call someone. Like I had a plan everything, so I had no intention of following through. But that made me feel better for a bit because I was like, oh, I didn't do anything. But then, like 3 days later after I did that, like that week was the worst. Like I had the most obsessive, impulsive, suicidal thoughts. Like out of the blue, I just be like, I have to kill myself. Like I need to do this. I need to do this. And like it was just like intense and like the most intense obsession like ever. And if you've watched one of my other videos, you know this already. But and then I got hospitalized because of that. Because luckily someone like posted something in one of the Facebook groups, and I was like, oh, something snapped at me, and I like immediately messaged my psychologist. So thanks to her, like I'm alive today because I wouldn't be. But I got hospitalized, and this was about a month ago. About a month ago, I was so depressed and I was so suicidal that I got hospitalized for it. And I am here now in Florence. And I would not have been able to come to Florence. My parents would not have let me come here. My psychologist wouldn't have let me come here. None of like the Kaiser team would have let me come here if I was not better. In a month's time, I am so much better. Like I can tell you, coming to Florence was like the best decision of my life. Like we came here on Friday, right? And then on Saturday, I get intimidated by anyone. I automatically think everyone is better than me, and I'm like, they're not gonna want to talk to me and any of that. And that's kind of how I always used to think. And so one of the girls, she's just like really confident. She's like a really big personality, and she's a lovely girl. But I was really intimidated by her because she has a big personality. And then I remember we went out to dinner, just the two of us, and I was like, oh God, this is going to be horrible. It's going to be so awkward. I'm just going to hate this so much. But I just like forced myself to go with her, and it was awkward at first, as it usually is with most people that you don't know that well. But then like I got talking to her, and you know what, like I had felt so comfortable with her. And before that, like this past summer, it was weird. I felt like I had like separation anxiety, like little kids do from their mothers. Like there's only a few people who I was comfortable around, like my best friend Ivy or my mom. And if I was with them and there's someone else around, and let's say I was with Ivy, right? And let's say someone left, like let's say she left to go, I was at her house and she had guests over. And one of the guests one time, he actually came up to me just to talk to me, and Ivy had gone into the kitchen. She was literally like 5 feet away from me. But I started freaking out. I was like, oh my God, Ivy, what are you doing? No, you can't leave me alone. How can you leave me alone? I can't talk to these people. Like I was so in my head, and I couldn't even like, it was like I had separation anxiety, but like from my friends. Like if my friends left me, I was like, "What are you doing? You can't do this. Like you can't leave me alone. I'm gonna have a panic attack. I can't talk to people. Like what are you thinking? What's wrong with you?" But coming to Florence, I've been like forced. I've been forced to, like I don't have any friends here that I know. I have to push myself to hang out with these people, and I honestly feel so confident. And I like kind of came to the point where like over the summer, just the past few weeks, like I'm at the point now where I'm like, I know when you first meet me, I'm quiet, I'm awkward. Sometimes I make like lame jokes that aren't exactly appropriate sometimes. Like I'm very socially awkward, and I used to be so self-conscious about that. I'd be like, I have to change that. I have to learn how to change that, or else I'm not gonna make friends. But you know what I realized? Like I've just come to the point where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm awkward. I'm quiet. I'm like really, you probably won't like me when you first meet me, but the people who do actually make an effort to get to know me, they're going to like me. I have never felt that way. In my 20 years, I have never felt that way. I've never been like, I don't care if people don't like me because I'm awkward at first. If they want to get to know me, they want to get, then they can get the chance to, if they want to take the effort to get to know me, then, then good for them. And I've always been so obsessed with I have to conform to this like certain idea of what kind of person I have to be. I have to be social, I have to be outgoing, I have to be normal, make jokes, but don't be weird about your jokes and stuff like that, And I was so caught up in my head, I was so worried about what people would think about me and like how I had to act a certain way. I think all of us are like at our age, like my age 20, it's pretty normal to feel that way. Teenagers, everyone feels that way, but it's ironic because I realized once you accept yourself, once you accept yourself like fully with all of your flaws, and just say, you know what, this is me, I am who I am, and yes, there are aspects to me that are like not the best. People, they're not considered really great, like me being awkward or quiet at first. But it's like, if you get to know me, I know you love me. And if you have that attitude and accept yourself fully and say, you know what, I'm awkward, I'm quiet, I don't care. Or if, let's say, you're someone who's really loud and maybe you've been self-conscious about that, but once you accept that and say, you know what, once people get to know me, they'll like me, people actually start to accept you more the more you accept yourself, which is weird because we've been like trained to think that like you have to conform to this one idea of one person and only then will people like you. But it's the opposite, because once you accept yourself for who you are with all of your flaws, with everything, people like you more. Like just noticing in my flatmates, like there's like personalities are so completely different, and like you at the outside you'd be like, oh, these people wouldn't really get along, because all of them are so sure of themselves and they're just so confident, and they're like, they love who they are, or at least they come off that way. All of them get together. All of them get along so well because it's like it's kind of like if you come off with the attitude or vibe that I love myself for who I am, it's like you're convincing people that you are good enough. If you want people to think you're good enough, you have to think you're good enough first. But okay, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but my point is, literally 2 weeks ago, before I left for Florence, I was this anxious person who wouldn't leave my best friend's side anywhere. Like if I was with Ivy somewhere and she left me for 2 seconds, I would flip a shit. I mean, I would be like, what are you doing? Like, think of a 2-year-old who's with their mom, and if their mom leaves them alone, they'll start crying. I mean, I'm 20, so I can't cry, but if I could, I probably would start crying. Even with my mom, like one of my mom's friends came, and I've known her my whole life. Like I've seen her, and we were at the mall. My mom left me alone for like 10 minutes, or not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I flipped a shit. I was like having an anxiety attack, and I was like, I'm with someone who I'm not like 100% comfortable with. What is she doing? And now I'm here in Florence, and I've had to interact with people. Like it gives me so much anxiety. It used to give me so much anxiety just going to the store and like like talking to people and interacting with people, because I'm so afraid that like I'm gonna mess up or I'm gonna embarrass myself. But I can't do that here, because if I do that, I'm just gonna get more depressed, and I have to force myself to go out. And my natural instinct is to like hide from people and be like, I don't want to be around you. But I have to fight that, I have to fight that. And okay, after being here for a while, like I'm kind of like getting that way again. Like I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know if my roommates will like me. Will they think I'm too sensitive? Will they think this and that? And I want to kind of like hide from them. But you have to force yourself to go against that instinct. It's not going to help you, you know. But anyways, sorry. My point was, like, two, 2 weeks ago, I was that like anxious person who couldn't even like get away from her mom because like she's worried about people judging her, and now like I'm in a new country, I don't know the language, and I feel so embarrassed every time I go to talk in the store because I don't know that much Italian. Okay, I barely know Italian, but I can still do it. I'm with my roommates who I don't know that well, and I'm forcing myself to like hang out with them and talk with them, and I'm able to do it, and I feel good. Like I feel so good about myself, you know. And like for those of you who think that time in your life, that who those of you who are like drowning in your depression and thinking it's never going to get better, it does get better. I promise. Like I was saying, about a month ago, I had obsessive thoughts, and I was hospitalized for these obsessive thoughts. And even just like 2 weeks after I got out of the hospital, I felt so much better. I mean, for me, it was about like having medication. Like I take antidepressants just because the chemical imbalance in my brain, whatever. But even for those of you who have tried taking antidepressants, maybe antidepressant or medication isn't for you. Like I was talking to one of the psychologists in this like group I had to take, and she was saying how like research has shown that talk therapy or cognitive therapy and even exercising are just as work just as well as medication. So you know you can find things that help you, or maybe like honestly exercising helps so much because it like releases that chemical in your brain. I'm having a brain fart, don't know what it's called, but they release the chemical in your brain, and you know it helps you boost your energy, and like also so like I don't know, I just wanted you to know that it does get better. And I like recently, like I coming into Florence, like I don't know, just recently like I've in the last week or so, I felt the happiest I felt in 10 years. Like it's I can't even, it's like I feel like kid happy. Like I haven't felt that way in 10 years. Like since I got depressed. I mean, I've been extremely happy. I have been extremely happy, you know, like I got out of my depression. Like the second time I got depressed, I got out of that. When I was in college, I felt like extremely happy. But like this happiness I have, I just wish I could like give that to all of you because it does exist, and it will happen for you. You have to fight hard against your depression. I'm not gonna lie, it is the hardest thing. And I commend all of you who are fighting because I know how hard it is to fight against that. But once you get to the light at the end of the tunnel, it's like the most beautiful thing ever. Like I feel like no one can knock me down. I don't care. Like I feel like no one can touch me. And now that I love myself and I've accepted myself for who I am, like I feel like no one can touch me. And like I just posted my video about my depression and everything on YouTube public. I made it public recently, and like before I would have worried about that, like, oh, I know people are gonna comment. I've been like, oh, people are gonna comment. They're gonna be people who are like, oh, you're stupid, whatever, blah blah blah. But like, you can't tear me down. No one can bring me down. I have never felt this way ever before, and like, I wish I could trade what I feel for those who are going through a really hard time, because just so you could feel this for one moment. But it does get better. It honestly does. Like even a few months ago, fast forward, backtrack to like let's say February, January, I was so bitter and negative. I know a lot of you are saying would say, oh, like, oh, Meghna, you're so positive and stuff, and I would always be surprised because like I was never vocal about how negative I was. And I mean, I'd say I was more like kind of like negative and positive, like kind of like combined. Like, if I ever did come off as positive, it wasn't fake. Like, whenever I'm around people, I feel more positive, I feel uplifted, you know, whatever. And the groups helped me a lot. But like as a whole, I think I was just really like bitter and negative, and I am like so much better now. You know, it took me a few months and took me going through therapy. I'm so sorry about the noise, but I can't close the window. But yeah, anyway, so like it took me a couple of months, but I am just so much happier. And and I know those of you who are in that deep dark place right now are probably like, fuck you, Meghna, you don't even understand my pain. No, it's not going to get better. It got better for you, but it's not going to get better for me. And like I understand that because I was there. Whenever I heard someone talking about anything positive or like being happy or getting out of the depression, I was like, this is such bullshit. Like, it's stupid. Like, yeah, they were able to do it, but I'm not going to be able to do it. But you can do it. And if you are on the place, I honestly hope you can get better. But I just, I just want you to know that it does get better. Like, I am living proof that it gets better. I mean, I cannot even explain to you how negative I used to be, and now I am so much more positive. And it's like, and I used to hate when people used to be like, "Oh, you just have to be like being positive helps you," you know, because I used to be like, I hate positive bullshit, because I had this bad like kind of connotation with being positive, like in my head, like in my past experiences, it's like anyone positive I've talked to, like if you talk to them about a problem, I used to feel like, oh, they're just be like, oh, well, there are starving children in Africa, so why are you depressed? Like, I feel like they would just shove shit down your throat instead of actually listening to you and helping you. But that's not what being positive is. But anyways, like, honestly, trying to be positive helps so much. And again, if you are on that deep dark place where you're just like, fuck you, Meghna, fuck you and your stupid positive bullshit, like, I understand, I completely understand, because if you think that you're probably not gonna watch this video, but you know, I get that, because that I was there. I was there a few months ago. I was there, but honestly, trying to be positive and trying to look at the good things in life helps so much with the depression. And it doesn't mean that you don't allow yourself to feel depressed. I allow myself to feel everything, you know. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel everything. You have to, you know, you have to also like learn to feel those things, but you also have to try and hold on to anything positive in your life. Like, last semester, right? There was literally nothing. I mean, okay, from the outside, there was lots of positive things, but in like my view, like, I was doing horribly academically. Like, I was failing my classes badly. Okay, I was failing horribly up until like 2 months before. Like, it was bad. It was so bad, and I felt like I was just like literally drowning in my depression. I felt like like I was in a body of water, and someone was like pulling me down. Like, there was weights attached to my feet, and like I was just being dragged down. Like, I just like I couldn't, like, it was just horrible, you know. But the one thing was that my friends Sierra and Catherine, oh god, I love them so much, and they mean the world to me. Like, they helped me so much. Like, I clung to them. Like, I knew being around them just helped me so much. So I would make sure I hung out with them every Thursday night. You know, I was like, I have to hang out with them because they make me feel better. So whatever it is in your life that makes you feel positive, they were the only thing, them and my friend Hannah, they were the only things in Kent that made me feel good, but I clung to that I hung on to them for dear life. Like, you just have to find something that you really just, like, makes you feel happy, you know? Or even if it's, like, maybe there's nothing really happy in your life right now, but even, like, you just have to cling on to, like, maybe it's watching your favorite YouTuber. Make sure you watch that at least once a week, or if you have time, every day, watch 5 minutes of their video. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's hunting, maybe it's, I don't know, sports, maybe it's watching sports, maybe it's taking a hike in the mountain, maybe it's shopping, maybe it's drawing, reading, you know what you like, but cling to that, like, and just hold on to that, because that is what will get you through. You just have to, like, hold on to that, and, like, it helps to just try and focus on the things that make you happy, because that's what helped me get through my depression. Like, it was literally the worst this past semester. But what helped me was that I clung to the people in my life who made me feel good. And if you don't have anyone in your life right now, like, who you can depend on for your happiness, or not depend for your happiness, but depend on, or you don't have anyone who you can hang out with, like, find something you can do independently, you know, that you just love. Maybe it's doing your makeup, like, anything at all, you know, as long as it's not destructive. And you can always message me. You can always message me, like, and I'm always here for you. And I just want you guys to know that it does get better. It gets so much better. Like, just hang in there. And, like, the thing that helped me the most was, like, just clinging to something that made me happy. You just have to, like, hold on to it for dear life. Like, just make sure you incorporate whatever it is you love and whatever it is that makes you happy, even if it's like a ray of sunshine, even if it's just like the slightest bit of happiness. Hold on to that and do that. Even if it's just like watching movies, do that. Make sure you incorporate that in your life, so you can, because we also learned about this in my IOP class. Like, doing things that you love is like retraining your brain to think that it's like retraining your brain to remember that you can be happy, because when you're stuck in your depression, it's like you keep on thinking that you will never be happy. But when you do something that, I mean, you do an activity that actually makes you happy, like it's like retraining your brain and reminding yourself that you can be happy, and like just clinging on to that, like one thing, that's makes you happy, or a few things. If you have a few things, just it will literally get you through your depression. But I just wanted to make this video to let you know that, like, it does get better. It honestly does. And I know if you're in that place where you're just drowning in your depression, it's really hard to see that right now, and you can't see it at all, and you just feel like it's never going to get better. But it does. It honestly does. You have to fight really, really hard to get through it, but it does get better. And I also have another example. Sorry, I know this video is like really long, but I have another example. So yesterday, like, I just have this insecurity that, like, I think I'm too sensitive, and I feel like if I show that sensitive side, or that I feel like people aren't gonna like me if I let people in, um, like once like I kind of I'm always afraid that I'm too intense for people, even like my best friend. Like it took me 3 years to be completely comfortable around my best friend, just because I was so afraid that she would like run away because I was too intense or whatever. But anyway, so like my flatmates, right? So I don't know them that well. I've only known them for 12 days. But yesterday, like while I was in class, like I just started thinking like, oh shoot, like I was in my design class, and like I am so like I'm not at the level that I should be at. So I was like already stressed out about that, and I would literally feel like I was going to cry in the middle of class, just because I was like, I'm not good at this, I'm horrible, I'm so much slower than everyone, like I suck. I started being like, getting really down on myself, and I was like, even my flatmates don't like me, only one of them likes me. They probably think I'm like too sensitive, or that I make stupid jokes, and I legit thought they hated me, just because like, and they don't. It's just how I think. Like I'm just always afraid of that. But I felt the way for a while, but I was able to like calm myself down. I was able to use the tools that I learned in my class that I had to take after I got hospitalized. But like I was able to use those tools, So it's like I never would have been able to do that I never would have been able to do that before. But I was actually able to do that, and like it's it's like once you get better, once you get to the happier place, it doesn't mean that you won't ever feel depressed, that you won't ever have suicidal thoughts, that you won't ever feel negative about yourself. But you can learn how to deal with it better. You can learn how to deal with it so that it doesn't like bring you down, so that your sad moments, so that your moments of doubt don't go from being, oh, I'm bad and no one likes me, to I should die. They'll go from like I don't know, like whatever those thoughts, like those negative thoughts, and you can you can learn how to take a step back and be like, you know what? No, it's probably not true. Like I just like learned to talk to myself. Like, it's okay. I mean, yeah, you're not the best at design now, but it's only the second day of class. Like it's okay. I was able to tell myself that, and I was like, I also don't know that my flatmates hate me. Like I'm making it up in my head. I'm going based off of their like expressions or whatever it is that I think they made, and that's kind of silly to like assume that they don't like they don't like me just because an expression they made, or because of a look they gave me, or whatever. But I just wanted to say that, like, basically the whole point of this video, like, it does get better. It honestly gets better. Like I was in that place where I thought I would never get better, where I was just like, I need to die today, right now, a month ago. And now I am so thankful for that girl on, I don't remember her name. I'm so thankful for that girl who made that post and she like literally saved my life, because if it wasn't for her, I would not be alive today. But I'm just so happy that I'm alive, and I'm just like loving life, and I'm just enjoying it so much, and I'm able to take on anything now. I feel like I can take on anything that comes my way. So I just want to say, all of you who are struggling with depression, and like struggling with, just like struggling with depression or anything really hard, like it does get better. And I am so proud of you for fighting on, because I know it's hard, and I know there's times where you just want to give up, but just keep on fighting. You will get the light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. Okay, and end of my video.